Hey, Shalom, Shalom, this is Shemot. I want to start off by giving all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakodash. I'm just going back into where I left off at. I ended up getting a call, Salakia, from one of the brothers. But get right back into it, talking about spiritual conversation, holy conversation, which keeps us rejuvenated, keeps us sharp. Every time you go out there to camp, which, brothers should try to be making camp every week, Lord is willing. If you can't, then, try to do it to the best of your ability. Brothers got children and stuff like that. But these things are mandatory, man, especially for us brothers in the truth who want to stay in a sharp mindset and a circumspect mindset. These things are really mandatory for us to be doing, man. Have a holy conversation. Even 2/3, bro. Hey, man, I was at work. I had went to work a couple days ago, maybe like a week ago. And it was this 2/3 guy. He might have been like a I don't know. He rubbed me off as like an Indian, like a Gad or Benjamin or something, or Reuben. But kind of big Jake. And he was telling me, he was like, man, the Bible ain't real. You know how Jake be, man, the Bible ain't real, man. White people wrote that shit. How you gonna tell me the Bible real? Man, God, like, how the fuck God gonna put us in this situation, man? Fuck God. He, Jake, all over the place, bugged out. And he was still, to a certain extent, in the spirit, though, because he was trying to keep a holy conversation. Jake don't understand that, because the scriptures say, in the book of Romans, chapter 2, it say, they are a law unto themselves. What paraphrase it? They that paraphrase have not my law are a law unto themselves. Paraphrasing the scriptures. But he was still. I noticed that he ended up mentioning, he was like, because it was another brother that worked with me, right? And the other brother was cussing him out, and he was like, man, you going off. And the other brother, he was like walking off on him and stuff. But I was still, the Lord put the spirit on me to still continue to listen to him, even though I knew he was bugged out. I still just sat there and listened to him, because I sensed something in the spirit. And so what ended up happening was he at the end of all his blabbering, he ended up telling me, like, even though I don't agree with the Bible, like he was like even though I don't agree with the Bible, it's some things that I still gotta talk like this. We still have to talk about these things, So he was pretty much indicating that even though he going to fuck off, not serving the Lord, and fearing Yahweh Shemel Shah, he still in his spirit feel the need to talk about the truth. You get what I'm saying? Like, even a 2/3 Jake in the world, even a Jake in the world will come to the understanding, like, I can't be talking about nigga shit all the time, man. I have to talk about some aspect of truth to keep my mind steady, to keep my mind right. So what more, us brothers, man, who in the faith, man, if we ain't talking about Yahweh Shemel Shai, if it ain't nothing else but wrath and, and wickedness and lust and envy and covetousness and all this wicked ass shit in our mouth, coming out of our mouth, then what the hell is we doing, man? That mean that we probably not even, we really not even walking in the faith for real, man. The scriptures say, know not thou, paraphrasing, know not thyself that thou, what it say, know thee not if thou be in the faith. Paraphrasing, examine if thou be in the faith. That's what the scriptures say. Examine if thou be in the faith, man. So you have to examine yourself, whether you be in the faith or not. What the hell is you talking about, man? You have to talk about, carnal stuff from time to time. Like, we're not always around the brothers, and we're not always doing lessons 24/7. So you might find yourself talking about an NBA game or, All-Star Weekend or some shit, some vanity shit every once in a while. But still maintain your righteous speaking, man. Maintain what's coming out of your mouth that's supposed to be righteous, man. Maintain that. Make sure you got that on a consistent basis. The brothers always talking about striking while the iron is hot, man. Because, hey, man, it's so much wickedness. The scriptures say folly is set in great dignity, man. So it's so easy to talk about bullshit, man. It's so easy to talk about some bullshit. We can talk about fat asses and all this shit all day long, man. But how is that gonna benefit us in our walk in this truth, man? You know, how is, you know, and that could even go for brothers getting frustrated with each other. Something I've been meditating on lately, man. You know, shit. You know, of course, us brothers, you know, we might get frustrated with each other, like, you know what I mean, talking about shit. You know, getting mad at each other and stuff like that. Might have an exchange of words, like, you know what I mean, with each other, being brothers in the truth. But how long should that, you know what I mean, how long should that type of conversation last, man? That shit need to go too, man. You know, of course, brothers might have different disagreements. You know, we got different egos and all this bullshit. But once again, our conversation needs to always be in holiness, man, because that's the only thing that's really gonna make us separate and put us in the right state of mind. All this other stuff, all this wrath and all this shit, man, it put us in a wicked state of mind where we forget, you know, our Heavenly Father, man. That shit put us in a prideful state of mind. Matter of fact, that shit put us in a prideful state of mind, man. You know, if we ain't talk, if you know, if Yahweh Shemi Shai is not on our mind, what you could tell if Yahweh Shemi Shai is on a man's mind by how he speak, man. If you talking to a man about, you know, how we came into captivity, or you might be talking to him about how the thing is about to be implemented in his kingdom, and then he gonna say okay, but then he turn around and you can see on his spirit that he ain't give a fuck about what he's saying, talking about how he need to get this Maserati and all this shit. Then you know, that just going to prove the point, like, you know, how a man speak, you know, that's you know, that shows what the scriptures say, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, and what you think gonna come out in your mouth, you know. Even a wicked thought, like, you know, for us brothers in the truth, wicked thoughts pierce us, man. Satan be piercing our minds, man. Like, you can't even imagine, like, brothers, what type of demonic thoughts brothers be getting put on their spirit, man. You know? But brothers don't show that, you know? Brothers, because they don't speak it, man. That's another thing, man. A brother did a lesson, going into, you know, pretty much how, you know, it's much power in Yashawamba, you know, the Dallas brother. If I'm not mistaken, he used to be in Chicago, but he ended up doing a lesson, man. It had to be like 3 years ago. The title of the lesson was "As Much Power in you know, meaning as much power in not saying nothing at all, man. As much power in shutting the fuck up, bro. It's much power in just being quiet most of the time and taking a low, man. It's much power in that. People can see that on your aura, man. People can, you know, they notice that, you know, like, man, this guy is quiet, you know. And that's how we ought to be in this generation, man. That's another, like, brothers shouldn't be talking so much, you know. Speaking to myself as well, brothers, we really shouldn't be talking so much, man, especially around like elders and stuff like that. We really ain't got too much to say, us, especially as younger brothers just now coming into this faith. We don't really have too much to say, you know. If the spirit might put something on our spirit to say something, you know, it might be a detrimental point that you feel like is really detrimental and you really need to get it out. But sometimes, once again, it's just best to take the low, man. You don't always need to pull that precept, you know. Allow the spirit to flow. The scriptures say, what did it say? The scriptures say, quenching out the spirit. But allow the spirit to flow, man. Just because you got a precept, you know, all the time, or just because you feel the need that you need to add a point all the time. Speaking to myself as well, don't always mean that you need to come out and add that point. Sometimes the spirit, it don't need that, you know, extra, you know, sauce on there, man. You know, sometimes it's just good how it is, man. You know. So, you know, that's another thing, you know, brothers. You know, we gotta make sure that we ain't doing excessive speaking, man. And that's really a bad look, man. That make us, in a lot of cases, that make you look like a nigga, man. Talking too damn much, you know. why you need to talk too much, man? You got more power when you not speaking at all, because most of these niggas, they want to talk all the goddamn time. What we need to talk all the goddamn time for? Ain't nothing to talk about in this goddamn kingdom, man. You know, ain't nothing to talk about here, bro. You know, besides the holy conversation which was given us through Yahweh Shema Shah putting the spirit in our mouths, man. But other than that, it's barely anything to fucking talk about, man. Me personally, I don't know what the hell to talk about a lot of times. Like, a lot of times, 2/3 nigga, you know, I might just feel like I just want to make a conversation so I won't seem awkward. So I just talk about anything. Like, what niggas want to talk about? Basketball? Or, hey, LeBron, he was putting, that nigga was doing buckets yesterday. What the fuck, man? You know, we just waiting on the Lord to come back, man. Fuck all this shit, man. Fuck this goddamn kingdom. Fuck all these fucking sports. Fuck all this shit, bro. You know, we need to be more so in the spirit and conversation of Yahweh Shema Shah. You know, we talk more about a lot of, you know, even brothers, man, talk more about bullshit in this fucking kingdom. No matter what it is, you know, it don't matter what the fuck it is, man. You know, talk about more about bullshit in this fucking kingdom than Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Especially when you around other brothers. You know, you need to have your spiritual lens on, man. You know, I'm starting to understand why the elder apostles be going so hard, like, you know, and going so hard on, like, brothers in GMS and stuff like that, like, because a lot of times there be brothers that's in the midst of you that's you know, just going the hell off, man. You know, speaking to myself as well, we all gotta check that shit, bro. We all really have to sincerely check that shit and examine ourselves, especially now, you know, it's around the Passover. You know, brothers trying to get all the leaven out before all this shit really just pop off and hit the fan, you know, which we see it doing now. We really need to check our fucking selves, man, because one of the brothers told me, man, it's gonna be a rude awakening, man. It's even for us brothers, man, you know, who hope that we amongst the elect. It might be a rude awakening, man, you know. So us brothers, we need to sincerely examine if we in the faith or not, man. Sincerely, like, you know, really sit there and stare at ourselves, you know, spiritually, and examine, you know, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, I've been doing all of this. What can I do? Is Yahweh Shema Shah with that? Do he like when I do this? Is he okay? Is it okay when I do that? Examine yourself, brother. You know, speaking to brothers in the faith, man, in the truth, you know. Examine how you dealing with other brothers, man. The Lord know that you dealing with pain. The Lord know that you dealing with this and that. Don't take that out on the brothers, man. What the fuck is you doing? Don't take that out on the brothers. Speaking to myself as well, man. Just because you going through some pain, don't be putting that pain on other brothers who already dealing with shit. Don't matter. Hey, like one of the brothers in the camp said, he said, just because a brother might not look like he, you know, going through some shit, man. The brother might not look like he going through some shit. That brother is going through some shit, bro. If you in the truth, you going through some shit, man. You know, even if you ain't in the truth, man. You know, we under the curses, but brothers got to keep that in mind, man. You don't want to put extra burdens. Speaking to myself as well, man. First and foremost, man. We don't want to put extra burdens on brothers when we already know that they dealing with the bullshit that they have to deal with in the society, man. We don't want to put that shit on the brothers, man. You know, we have to minimize, speaking to myself as well, we have to minimize how much bullshit we putting on other brothers. If you don't feel like you putting no bullshit on a brother, examine that shit. Shit, I don't really feel like, I feel like I'm doing a brother good. You know, I feel like I'm doing a brother well. But let me check this. Like, when I said this to him, was that cool? Like, is he cool with that? You know, because brothers got different lots, man. Brothers grew up in different neighborhoods and all type of shit. So they might not take a thing a certain way, man. You know, so that's just something to keep in mind, man. This was a spiritual conversation. Brothers, man, you know, keep that spiritual conversation. Like, do more or less, do what you need to do to keep staying in the spirit. You know, because you might not notice it. But the more you know, because once again, camp is there to sharpen us. But if you ain't really doing nothing to benefit the flock or anything besides yourself after camp, then what's happening to that sharpening that you had when you went to camp? It's depreciating. You swinging that sword that you sharpened this last Saturday or whatever day you went to camp, and you keep swinging away with no type of, break for, the spirit of truth, no type of break for righteousness, and you swinging and swinging and it's hacking away, and that blade is getting lesser and lesser and lesser, man. So we have to constantly be in a spirit of sharpening that blade, man. Keep sharpening that blade. Just because you went to the camp on Saturday don't mean that your blade is gonna be sharpened for the rest of the week, man. The Lord He set camp up for a reason, for us to rejuvenate, man. But it's not just about camp. We have to make sure that we put in all that we can put for Yahweh Shem Shai for this thing, man. We put so much shit we put so much energy into the world, don't we? We put so much fucking energy into the world. Most of our life, we put more energy into the world than we put inside of this truth, man. In some cases, because you got, brothers who was in this thing for a long time. But, for a lot of us brothers, we put more work into the world, from what we did, growing up and shit like that, going to school, all this, going to work, all this stuff. We put more work into the world than we did for Yahweh Shem Shai when you actually do the math, man. So what now, man? Shouldn't you want to put put a whole bunch of fucking work in for Yahweh Shem Shai, man? Which is not all about doing lessons. It's not about that, man. It's not about these things, bro. But these things help you to stay in the spirit. You want to, man, brothers, man. These things help you to stay in the spirit. Going to work and teaching the 2/3 at your job ain't okay, that's cool. That's cool if you think he might be amongst the elect or something. But then what? Then now what? You see? What if he don't hearken? Then you gonna keep teaching people at your work? No, do lessons, man. Do something else that's that's beneficial to the flock. Read. Study, man. Do whatever you need to do. Do anything in your possible power to keep you in the spirit. Not only being selfish to keep yourself in the spirit, but also to feed the flock, man. That's what we was here for, brother. That's what we was here for, man. That's what we sent here for. That's why our spirits are dwelling here today for. We're not here to do nothing else, man. You see? But this was pretty much a part 2 to I'll make it. This is part 2, various topics. Lord's willingness is edifying, man. Lord's willingness is edifying, because we really got to sharpen up, all this shit. We don't want to be, especially us brothers, man, in the faith. We don't want to be, getting caught up in this shit, man. That it'd be even worse for us. It'd be even worse for us, man. Who in the faith? The scripture say them that knew shall be beaten with many stripes, but them pretty much who was ignorant, they ain't gonna be beaten with all them stripes. You see? So, Lord's willingness to edify to an elect member once again. Thwadi Yahweh Shem Shai for giving me the spiritual lesson that wanted to the elder apostles, great millstone, above Paul. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, Yahweh Shem Shai, Wa Ha Alahayim, Wa Ha Akim, and the 1/3 of women children are gonna make it remember the Lord. Shalom.